Hello everyone and maulang umaga po sa inyong lahat. I'm Dr. Ana Bondoc and we are doing another episode of Libreng Konsulta. Magtanong lang po sa doktor by putting your questions below and we promise to read them. Shoutouts and birthdays, pwede rin. Okay? What is the weather report today? Maulan. Okay? So, ako po, I am a Dr. Bondoc. I am a pulmonologist and an internist. I am the University of the Philippines. I'm also a former congresswoman and mom po of an 8-year-old. And nandito po ako sa San Luis, Pampanga ngayon. Maulan po, talagang grabe. So please follow us on YouTube. We are trying to increase our subscribers. And please watch din po sa YouTube at i-share nyo rin po kung nagugustuhan nyo po ang inyo pong naririnig at kung may natututunan po kayo. So today we're going to be discussing a very interesting topic. Ito po ang Pfizer bakuna. And siguro sagutin din po natin ang tanong, talaga bang mas maganda ang bakuna ng Pfizer? So let's start po and we're doing po today a Q&A format. So please put po yung mga questions. Meron na rin po kami handang guide questions. And we will promise to answer them as best as we can. If you have questions po about COVID that are not related to Pfizer, ilagay nyo po sa baba. And later on, the portion po, we will answer po non-COVID related and non-bakuna related questions. So ilagay nyo lang po. Okay? I'll just try my best and hopefully makatulong. So come on, let's start. Let's start first with the first question. Ano ba ako ng Pfizer? And then we move on po doon please sa mga moderators natin. We'll move on first to how does the Pfizer vaccine work? Then we'll move on to side effects. We'll move on to pregnant women. We'll move on to kids. We'll move on to seniors. Okay? So ano nga ba ang Pfizer bakuna? Well, obviously, ito po yung bakunang ginawa po ng kumpanyang Pfizer. But was Pfizer the one who discovered the vaccine? Well, not actually. Kasi po, the vaccine was discovered by a company called BioNTech. This is actually run by 2 Turkish immigrants to West Germany. Mag-asawa po sila. And they started in January 2020 pa lang. Wala pa pong official lockdown. Our lockdown was March 9. Pero being as a respected vaccine scientists na po, they observed po yung nangyayari sa China and realized that this was gonna be a world pandemic. So, January 22 pa lang, ginawa na po ang bakuna by the BioNTech company. And in March, because BioNTech is a smaller company of research and development po talaga sila, they pioneered po with Pfizer. Pfizer is the pharmaceutical giant. And in March 2020, naging their linkage or their joining was formalized and it became known as the Pfizer vaccine. So in July 2022 po, they were awarded a US 1.9 billion contract. This is through yung Operation Warp Speed po ni President Trump. Dami, no? And then July 27, the phase 2 and 3 trials in the US, Argentina, Brazil, and Germany was started. And November 9, it was found to be 90% effective po sa mga bansa sa phase 2 and 3 trials. And December 2 po, it's actually the first vaccine po that was developed. There was a race, ano po, it's the first vaccine developed. So, in December 2 po, they received their emergency use authorization po from the United Kingdom. And in December 8, vaccinations po in the United Kingdom started. If you remember po, nurses were the ones actually vaccinating po sa United Kingdom. December 9, Canada and Saudi Arabia. December 11, sa US po, they were allowed. And since then, they have primarily been vaccinating po in the United States. Sa February 15 po, pregnancy trials. And then just very recently po, kids naman po, 12 to 15 years old was found to be safe. Ang pinaka-latest po na balita sa Pfizer, they presented po to President Biden the possibility of the booster. Right now, wala pa po. Sa Philippines naman, we have purchased a large amount of Pfizer bakuna, some of which have arrived in the Philippines already. So yun po yung history ng Pfizer. Developed by a West German company, run by 2 Turkish immigrants, and then nag-team up po sila with the pharmaceutical giant Pfizer to become the Pfizer vaccine. Okay? So I think there's a question, what is mRNA and how does the Pfizer vaccine work? May tanong atang ganun, meron ba? Ayan, what is mRNA? And this has to do po with how the Pfizer vaccine works, okay? What is mRNA? Ito po yung this is different from DNA. DNA nasa loob ng cell eh. Messenger RNA is what gives the instructions po to the DNA kung ano po yung i-form niya. So, iba po. This is first messenger. M means messenger, okay? Messenger RNA. So, ito po, the first in the world na messenger RNA vaccine po. What do I mean na what do I mean first in the world and why would I say that? 1 second lang Ayun, why would I say that it would be the first in the world? Well, sorry technical problem lang po, humihina yung net ko. Okay. Kan lang ho natin yung Sinovac that's dead or inactivated COVID na ininiksyon po sa loob ng bakuna, then you inject it in the body. So that is one of the oldest technologies po, and that was used for smallpox, okay? Oxford, AstraZeneca, Oxford, J&J, at saka Gamaleya, yun po yung adenovirus vectors. They use the adenovirus to enter the cell to give instructions. Ito po, kakaiba po siya as it is messenger RNA. So, how does it work? Yung messenger RNA po, it is wrapped. Messenger RNA is very fragile. Yung mga yung mga DNA vaccines, matagal na po yung mga DNA. I believe rabies is a DNA vaccine eh. Yung messenger RNA po, the reason it is very new and it's very fragile. Masisira po siya very quickly. And I will go into that about the temperature po, no? So, because masisira po siya mabilis, they wrap the messenger RNA into a lipid particle. Okay? This lipid particle po is supposed to protect it once it enters the cell. So, ang mangyayari po doon, dala po niya yung messenger RNA, wala pong dalang patay na COVID or what. They manufactured messenger RNA, they put it inside the lipid wrapping, and then they will inject it into the body. Pagpasok po niya into the cell, it will release the messenger RNA. The messenger RNA will give the directions dun sa DNA po ng inyong katawan to produce po the spike protein. The messenger RNA contains instructions on how to make a spike protein. Not entire COVID po, no? Just the spike protein. And then, magbibuild po yung katawan nyo ng spike protein po. Lalabas po dun sa cell ng katawan nyo yung spike protein. So this can be formed as the antigen. Yun po yung makikilala ng inyong katawan na, may spike protein dito. Hindi po siya dapat sa katawan ng tao and labanan po natin. Let's make fighter cells versus the spike protein. So yun po yan. That's how it works. The messenger RNA will go into your cell, tell the DNA to produce a spike protein, and then your cell will have a spike protein at yung makikilala po ng inyong katawan na hindi po dapat nasa katawan nyo at yun ang lalabanan niya. Aside from that, pwede hong mamatay yung vaccinated cell, then the spike protein kakalat po sa katawan nyo, and then yun na ho yung makikilala po ng katawan nyo as a foreign invader. And that's how you will produce antibodies to the cell. So yun po yun. It's very new. But it has been found to be safe naman po, no? And it has been found to be safe despite being a new technology. What happens po to the messenger RNA after it gives the instructions to the DNA? Mamamatay na po si messenger RNA. Messenger RNA will be disintegrated in your body at wala na po. Okay? Again, the only instructions that are given po to your cell is to produce the spike protein. Never po siyang mag-produce ng buong COVID. Hanggang spike protein lang po. Okay? So how does your body make antibodies? Your body makes antibodies when your body will recognize the spike protein na ginawa po at sasabihin po, yan ang kalaban natin, awayin natin, gagawa po ng antibodies. aside from the antibodies, as I mentioned, there are the helper B and Ts din po, which will recognize also this spike protein na ginawa po ng katawan nyo. And they will recognize this and parang mapapasok po sa utak nila na invader yon. So the next time po na may totoong COVID sa katawan nyo, parang nakita na po yung invaders, so awayin po nila yon. The antibodies are there and the helper T cells are there. Okay? So yun po yon. So next question, let's just take the questions randomly naman po. Ayan, let's talk about the side effects. Okay, what are the side effects po of the messenger RNA? Ito po, what are the messenger RNA, the messenger RNA po, the messenger RNA vaccines po are, the messenger RNA vaccines po are, Moderna and Pfizer. Okay? So, eto po yung the side effects are similar po sa iba. Side effects po locally. Let's go locally. Yung local side effects po is, the local side effects po are redness, swelling, bibigat yung kamay nyo. Meron pong mga pangkalahatang side effects. Parang nilalagnat, napapagod, body malaise yung tinatawag po nila, hindi makabangon sa kama. But again, this lasts only for 24 hours. Very notable po sa messenger RNA vaccines, which is Moderna and Pfizer, na yung side effects po nila ay mas increased after the second dose. Unlike Astra, yung side effects po, the second dose walang side effects na eh. Dito po sa messenger RNA vaccines, the side effects are mostly seen in the second dose. When do we do the second dosing po? Usually 3 to 4 weeks. Meron pa pong up to 12 weeks sa mga lugar po na may shortages po ng bakuna. Up to 12 weeks pwede po, sabi po ni WHO. So, let's answer more questions po.
From one of our
Ayan, ang
viewers,
ganda po nitong tanong na ito.
Totoo bang super cold ang kailangan na temperature ng Pfizer?
This is one of the biggest issues about the Pfizer vaccine. Ano po? The fact that it is messenger RNA and that messenger RNA is more fragile. Ano bang fragile? Mas madali pong masira kesa po sa other kinds of vaccines. So because it is so fragile, it needs to be kept at a super cold temperature. Okay, how pala, ito ni-research ko, how they make the messenger RNA vaccines. It's so, si Pfizer lang po talaga, they only registered a few facilities because of the cold storage necessary talaga. In fact, there's only the one facility in the US that can actually make the messenger RNA. So sobrang hirap pong gawin. Okay? Ngayon, let's talk about the storage and logistics. Until traveling around the world po, the Pfizer vaccine must be at most 70 degrees centigrade. As it goes around the world po, and traveling, ganun po, and going to different countries, dapat po minus 70. Once it leaves po the manufacturing facility. Ngayon po, up to 30 days. Actually, dati 2 weeks lang yun eh. In-extend sa 30 days. 2 to 8 degrees centigrade na po yun. That is, ref temperature is up to 2 to 8 degrees centigrade. Pag nabuksan na po, nabuksan yung vial, okay? Within 2 hours lang po, pwedeng 25 degrees centigrade, okay? Ang Pilipinas po, normally 29, 32, 36, lalo na pag summer. So 2 hours lang po yung 25, dapat 20. Actually, 17 to 25 is actually aircon temperature. So dapat po naka-aircon po si Pfizer talaga. And alam naman natin ang quality ng aircon sa Pilipinas is just so scary. Lalo na ho pag maraming tao. I cannot believe ho na 25 degrees centigrade. So ang logistics po talaga ng Pfizer vaccine is a big question. Kasi the Philippine government has never explained kung nasan po yung minus 70 degrees centigrade na mga freezer po natin. I've never seen an explanation, and this is something that I would like to know. Kasi as it is traveling around the world, kailangan minus 70. And then 30 days lang yung 2 to 8 degrees. So this is really a big question, storage and logistics. And why is it so important? Kasi po, yung component po niya na messenger RNA ay nasisira po talaga. Or it will be disintegrated, it will not work pag hindi, because it is very fragile. So the temperature is a big issue. Okay?
From one of our viewers, ano po ang issue na magiging zombie ang mga tao?
Ito po yung nangyari, no? Because it's so new and the concept of the messenger RNA entering the cell and then giving the instructions to your DNA, parang nakakatakot ho yung anong yon. But again, this is another misinterpretation po of the messenger RNA. The only thing that the messenger RNA contains po is how to make a spike protein. It does not make an entire COVID. So hanggang spike protein lang talaga ang magagawa talaga sa katawan nyo, not the entire COVID. Okay? So there is a misconception po na it's taking over the cell, it will take over your entire body. Hindi naman po. The only information that it contains po is how to make a spike protein. Hanggang doon na lang po yun.
Halimbawa, nabakunahan ka na ng Pfizer, tapos sa second dose, iba na like Sinovac or Astra, okay lang po ba?
Actually, this has happened po in other countries. And usually, ito po, I'm not saying all, ano, but usually this happens po because wala pong Pfizer yung second dose. So kahit na ano na lang po, iniiniksyonan po nila sa tao. The Philippines is trying not to do that kasi po pag ginawa po natin yun, magkakagulo. We will not be able, yung bang maghahalo-halo. Ang advice po talaga ng mga eksperto sa Pilipinas, hanggang maaari po, if you got Pfizer, get Pfizer. If you got Astra, get Astra. Na gets, okay? Kasi po, pag naghalo-halo na, and some people are doing this, ano, it should be done within the context po of a study. What's the meaning of this? Gagawin po ito dahil pinag-aaralan, hindi po dahil nakulangan, okay? So, this is really a big problem kasi like for example po sa amin, ano, second dose na, may mga 3 tao po na inubo, nagkasakit, not well. They, you know, we can only keep the Pfizer for 30 days, 2 to 8 degrees po. Pag hindi pa ho kayo gumaling nung 30 days na yun, ang gagawin namin doon sa Pfizer mo. Tapos, number 3 pa, there are 5 doses per vial. Okay, 5 doses. The moment na buksan yung vial na yon, kailangan ubusin na po and not be stored. So, talaga pong, if you're not gonna get the Pfizer, who's gonna get it? Kumbaga talagang nakamatch siya talaga. So, if you're traveling, if you got sick, it's really a problem. So, the Philippines is advocating hanggat maari po that we stick to Pfizer and Pfizer, Astra and Astra, Gamaleya and Gamaleya. Kasi otherwise, magkakagulo po and the inventory will be a nightmare. So, sa ibang lugar po, they're doing that because talagang wala na po silang mabiling bakuna.
Should we wait for Pfizer?
Ang ganda-ganda pong tanong na to. There is a concept po na Pfizer is the most effective vaccine. Sa akin po, no, there's a lot of data on Pfizer. That I would like to say, there is a lot of data on Pfizer. Most of it which naman po. But can we actually say that Pfizer is better than others? We cannot at this point kasi as I always say, hindi po sila nagtapatan ng laban. Wala akong naging laban na Pfizer versus versus Sinovac, Gamaleya versus Astra, ganun eh. Ang nangyayari po is that we just do studies in different parts of the world and observe po Pfizer and no Pfizer. Ganun po yung laban. Then, dediretso po sila sa then they will see who got COVID and who didn't. Pero wala nang Pfizer arm, Astra arm, no? So, but there is a lot of data on Pfizer, which I cannot naman who deny. So, would I say that it's the best vaccine? I wouldn't say so. I would say it's a vaccine with a lot of promising data. Yon. So, should you wait for it? Ang tanong ko naman ho, kailan po darating si Pfizer sa lugar niyo? How do you know na kayo po yung matatawag? Sa kahihintay nyo naman po, baka ma-COVID kayo and mamatay. Or baka ma-COVID po kayo and a lot of complications of COVID can occur, not only death po, no? If you are unvaccinated, anything can happen, okay? So my advice is, there's a lot of data in Pfizer. I do not personally agree that Pfizer is the best. And with the looming Delta variant po talaga dito sa Pilipinas at sa ano pala sa Indonesia 17,000 a day na daw ang positive. Let's not wait po ano kasi habang naghihintay po natin si Pfizer, we don't know po kung ano po ang pwedeng mangyari sa inyo. So kung natawag na po kayo, please magpabakuna na. And ako personally, Sinovac.
From one of our viewers, mas effective po ba talaga ang Pfizer versus Delta virus?
Siguro they meant Delta variant of the COVID virus, ano, Miss Rina? O, na-shorten nila. Okay. Yes, there is a lot of data on Pfizer and the Delta variant. May nakalagay po sa Britain 88%, sa Scotland 79%, sa Israel daw 95% effective. Pero lately, nung nagkalat po ng Delta sa Israel, naging 64 na lang. I would say that yes, there is a protection po against the Delta virus. But again, meron po talagang mga breakthrough infection. What is breakthrough infection? People po na magkakasakit po ng COVID despite 2 doses of Pfizer. So nangyayari po talaga, I personally know one of them who is my classmate. Sorority mate po sa UP College of Medicine. She was vaccinated twice po with Pfizer and still got the COVID. So, yes, it's effective pa rin po. But again, the most important issue po is yung effectivity po niya against hospitalization and death remains high. And that includes all vaccines po.
Doktora, what are the common side effects of vaccine? Bakit naririnig namin na mas matindi ang second dose?
Totoo po yan. For the Messenger RNA vaccines, I mentioned na the side effects no local sa inyong kamay, mamumula, mamimigat. Yung iba, kung minsan pa, medyo slightly swollen, ganun. Just put a cold ice pack po for 24 hours and after 24 hours, pwede naman pong warm compress. Yung iba, fever, got tired, humiga na lang, parang napagod, ganon. It really happens after the second dosing para po sa messenger RNA. As mentioned po, for the Astra, the second dose is actually better than the first dose. Ikaw, Reina, how did you feel about your Astra second dose?
Wala naman pong side effect so far, Doktora.
Pero yung first dose mo?
Matindi ang side effect po.
Oh, yun na nga. So, ganun po yun. Balik-taran po siya ng Astra. Ang Astra po, yung husband ko rin po got very, very tired. Ay, nilagnat po and took so many paracetamols. But the second dosing, wala pong naramdaman. Okay? So, si messenger RNA, baliktad naman ho. By the first, okay ka. By the second, may mararamdaman ka. But that's okay po because most of the side effects naman po went away after 24 hours.
From Miss Carla San Diego Mamangon, dialysis patient father ko, first dose, June 29, second dose, July 21. Fully vaccinated na po, Pfizer. So far, so good. Okay naman, Doktora.
Thanks, Carla. And I'm happy to hear about Daddy's successful vaccination. Salamat po. Alam mo, if you're a dialysis patient, sa akin lang talagang number 1 po talaga sa akin na bakunahan ng dialysis. Baka even more pa than cardiac or pulmo. Alam mo kung bakit, Reina? Why I really target dialysis patients? Kasi the dialysis, the other patient can just stay at home. Like yung mga nagpapakimotherapy, hindi naman araw-araw yung chemo nila, once a month, ganun. Yung diabetes, nagpapating naman, maybe every 2 months. I mean, there's the option of staying home is what I'm trying to say. Okay? If you are a dialysis patient, wala pong option na magstay home kasi po, kailangan talaga kayong pumunta doon sa dialysis center. And I'm sure naman po that the dialysis center is trying its best naman po. Nalinisin po yung lugar, But you know what? They're not 100% successful din naman ho. Meron at meron hong magiging somehow may ma-enter to best effort po na kuskusin talaga yung dialysis center. At so it's really very, very important for the dialysis patients to be vaccinated. Choice po talaga tayo. 3 times a week, you need to get out of your house and to be exposed persons. Tapos nagtatagal pa po doon sa dialysis center, yung iba no choice pero kumain, pagtanggal ng mask, ayun, expose. Okay?
Doktora, bakit nila sinasabing makabago ang Pfizer vaccine?
Ano po yon?
Bakit nila sinasabi na
Sorry,
makabago
napuputol po.
Bakit nila sinasabi na makabago ang Pfizer vaccine?
Sorry, napuputol ako nilang magbasa. Sorry talaga, sorry. Bakit nila sinasabing makabago ang Pfizer vaccine? Yes, this is true. It is actually the first time that we have developed the Messenger RNA Vaccine. And actually, dyan ho nagkakaroon ng issues eh. I agree na talagang, some people are hesitant about the first time. Sana older technology. But mabilis po, pero pinag-aralan. There's a lot of data po on the messenger RNA vaccines. Actually, in fairness, compared po dun sa Sinovac. But naman ho, ang maganda naman ho sa Sinovac, luma naman po yung technology. Panahon pa nga ng smallpox. So, makabago nga po talaga yung Pfizer. But again, I'd like to reassure everyone, pinag-aralan naman po. And this is born out of the, this is born out of the research that was being done po on the coronaviruses beforehand pa po. So, yun po yun. I'd like to let everyone know that despite it being new, despite it being fast, ang dami po talagang data. So, yun naman po yung maganda po sa messenger RNA vaccines. Yun po yun. Kasi people always say, walang data si Sinovac. Well, lumabas nga po yun sa Chile. Most of them are using Sinovac. So we are really looking po kung ano mangyayari sa Chile. And they came out with a 10 million person study na okay naman po, no? But the true messenger RNA is new. It is revolutionary. But they've been working on it for a very long time po sa coronaviruses na rin po, which the COVID is. And number 4, there's a lot of data. Yun lang. Okay?
From one pen na Carlos, Doktora, may na-vaccine frontliner tapos nag-positive pa rin. Ano po bang magandang gawin at ano ang nangyayari sa tao na na-vaccine na nag-positive? Salamat po.
Well, Mr. Juan Peña, thanks po for that question. Ito lang this is the way the vaccine works, okay? And even the trials. Ito po si nabakunahan. Lalabas sila ngayon. So, magtatapatan sila. Hopefully, magkakapatid or magkabarangay or whatever para the same characteristics. So, ito yung nabakunahan, hindi nabakunahan. They will go out into the real world. And then after 3 months, titingnan ho kung sino sa kanila ang nagka-COVID. Okay. From the nabakunahan group, punta tayo sa hindi nabakunahan. Marami talaga magkaka-COVID dito sa hindi nabakunahan. Doon sa nabakunahan na group, I mean this 2 times po, nabakunahan is 2 times, meron pang magkaka-COVID. In other words, may positive po sa nabakunahan talaga, even in the trials. Pero kung ikukumpara mo pa yung merong bakuna at yung walang bakuna, mas marami po talagang COVID dun sa walang bakuna. Pero yung may bakuna, the rate is not 0. Okay, the rate is, if you note, wala namang nakalagay na 100% eh. So talaga pong rate is not 0. So meron magkaroon ng COVID, and we call this breakthrough infections dun sa mga nabakunahan. Pero it will be much less than those na walang bakuna. What should we do? Kung kayo po ay nabakunahan na po ng 2 beses, it's now 2 weeks after, congratulations, na may protektado na po kayo. Pero ang meaning po ng protektado is possible pa rin ho magka-COVID at possible pa rin ho magkalat, but it is less. So what should you do? Dapat po naka-mask pa rin, naka-face shield, at mag-iingat pa rin po kahit na po nabakunahan na tayo. Once we get to the point na marami na pong nabakunahan sa ating society, then pag-iisipan po ng IATF kung dapat na pong matanggal ng mask. Pero ako, gusto ko pa rin mag-mask kahit na until further studies show more information. Sa akin, I've been vaccinated by Sinovac completely since April 9, April 7. Pero I still remain to wear a mask. I still remain to wear a face shield. Maingat pa rin ho ako and I do not eat in public. So yun lang po ang advice ko.
From Miss Christy L. Regalario, Doktora, sabi magkakaroon ng booster ang mga nabigyan ng Sinovac. Pwede kaya magpa-vaccine na lang ng ibang brand like Pfizer or Moderna instead of Sinovac booster? Thank you.
Sino po ang nagsabi na magkaka-booster po ang Sinovac? This is not yet advice. Mga haka-haka pa lang po yan at kwento-kwento. So, my advice sa mga ganito is let's wait for our government and for our scientists. Kasi parang if we think about the stuff that we read and wala pa pong malinaw. I mean, let's cross that bridge when we come to it. So far, wala pa pong bridge na gano'n. Ito rin ito rin yung puntos ko. As we vaccinate more and more Filipinos with whatever vaccine is available, bababa rin po yung rate kasi po ang COVID is disease. What do I mean by that? Kahit na ikaw, kahit na ikaw ay nabakunado ng 4 na beses, 2 Sinovac, 2 Pfizer, you are still injured unless all of the persons around you are safe. Sabi, no one is safe until everyone is safe. So let's concentrate muna on making yourself safe with 2 vaccines. And then after that, making all Filipinos safe. And then magbabago po yung sitwasyon po talaga ng bayan. Kasi kahit pabakunahan nyo po yung sarili nyo multiple times, kung yung driver nyo po hindi nabakunahan, ano yung tutulong nun? Ano? So, basically, ako po, I am of the belief na let's first try to vaccinate as many Filipinos po as we can and let us assess the situation. Ngayon po, kung may nagmatayan po, let's say lahat po ng tiga-PJ, oh my God, that's terrible, 50% namatay despite being vaccinated, then iba ho yung magiging action natin. But at the moment, naka-wait and see, it's not wait and see, wait and invest, wait while investigating ang atin pong IATF and scientists. Okay? And we're also in touch po with mga world news. FYI, nagka-presentation po yung Pfizer with President Biden. Kasi of course, Pfizer was suggesting na magkaroon ng booster, syempre, para kumita. No? But the president in the US said, wait, we have not even vaccinated po. Hanggang 50+% lang po ang US. So, they would like to increase po their vaccination rate for everyone before they even think of boosters. Unless something emergent happens. Okay?
From Miss Eugenia Nebrida, hello po, Doktora. Ingat po palagi. Mabuhay po kayo.
Thanks, Ma'am. Mahilig si Ma'am mag-comment and thank you for that. We are always happy to hear your comment.
From Miss Caroline Lambao, Dungka, pwede po ba ako makapagpa-vaccine kahit may plema ako sa throat? Di naman ako inuubo. Nakakapag-produce po ba ng plema yung acid reflux? Naka-registered na po kasi ako vaccine. Thanks po. Natatakot po ako sa side effect.
Normally po, no? Normally, we would like persons po not to be symptomatic. Walang symptoms. Like, totally okay. Bago po nating bakunahan. Kasi po, I've heard of stories of people na pumila ho sa bakuna, yung pala, they are sick. And then, nung na-swab test, may COVID. So, baka palipasin nyo ho muna yon, okay? Kasi, they really don't want to vaccinate persons with symptoms. And I would agree with that po. Opo, I would agree with that. So, can acid reflux produce phlegm? Not really po. No, acid reflux, baka pa allergic rhinitis. Acid reflux, it's possible, I guess, but it's not a common symptom. My advice for you, Ma'am, is let that phlegma be checked up muna. Okay? Wag na lang po munang pumila kasi reject naman ho kayo kasi kailangan nyo po yung walang nararamdaman. On the other hand, there are people na forever going to produce phlegma for the rest of their life, ever and ever, amen. Ito po yung mga chronic bronchitis and COPD patients. These people need to see po their pulmonologist kasi ibang problema yan. At hindi na po mawawala yung problema ng mga taon to habang buhay na po yan.
From Mr. Serge Tips, sa akin po, side effects ay nag-chill ako overnight. Masakit ang braso, masakit ang ulo for 2 days at wala na po.
Ay, that is good. I'm glad na nakayanan niyo po yun. And I'm also happy po na nagpabakuna po kayo. Cheers po.
From Ms. Rna Claire Galanida, if a person is already fully vaccinated, example, Sinovac, can he receive another vaccine as a booster like Pfizer? If yes, when is the soonest time possible can a person receive the booster?
Zarina, I've explained this many times and I always get this question eh. Parang may umiikot talaga and even among doctors. So you're not the only person. I would like to reassure you, pati mga doktor pinag-uusapan ko yun. But I still believe na let's wait po talaga for the official information. Wag po tayong, kasi may mga tao kung nagpapa-booster na ngayon, na mali po yun, okay? Kasi po pag may nangyari sa inyo and you did something that the Philippine government did not agree to, ang hirap pong pumunta sa emergency room at sabihin, ito po yung ginawa ko. Di tatanungin nila, bakit mo ginawa yun, di ba? So ako naman ho, I have trust in scientists. Not even abroad scientists, okay? Filipino na lang. Kasi baka yung abroad may tinitinda pa eh. So, let's wait for the Filipino scientists po to give us the go-ahead kung talaga pong kailangan. Okay? Ako, I already said this just a few minutes ago. I'm of the belief na let's vaccinate po the entire Filipino nation. Kasi kawawa naman po yung mga taong ni isang bakuna wala. Tapos yung mga may pribilehyo sa buhay, like mga well-connected or what, and nag-hoard po na naka-4, naka-5, naka-6, naka-7. We are never gonna stop, okay? So let's continue to help muna po yung mga kababayan natin. But I'm not saying po na we will never have boosters. What I'm saying is pinag-aaralan po natin, we are waiting and collecting information. And then number 3, pag kailangan na po, I trust naman po yung mga scientists to tell us. Okay? And again, kung meron yung unexpected na nangyari, like I said, like all these healthcare workers suddenly died. O na nabakunado na po na sa then siguro naman we have to do something, ano? Pero as of now, wala pa po talagang namatay na healthcare worker who was vaccinated with Sinovac. I think that's a very good sign.
From Cheryl M. Mapile.
Pero wait lang pero ma'am, ang dami po talagang nagtatanong, pati po mga doktor. So, ako po, that's just my opinion. And I'd rather wait po kasi mahirap pong gumawa ng hindi po rekomendado.
Okay na po, Doktora.
Ako, sa mga nininervyos, what to do, vaccinate your entire household. Driver, yaya, kasambahay, nanay, tatay, lahat po, lahat in your household, parehistro nyo. Number 2, if you work in an office, pabakunahan yung buong opisina. Pabakunahan yung buong opisina. That's what you should do. Give everybody the bakuna. Pabakunahan yung buong opisina nyo. Okay? Including the messenger, including the everything. Okay? And then number 3 po, paglalabas ng bahay, mask, face shield, social distancing. Kasi hindi po natin alam kung ano yung bakuna status ng ibang tao. And kahit na ho, nabakunahan niyo yung opisina nyo, mag-mask pa rin kayo. Okay? Kasi hindi naman ho natin alam kung ano yung na-encounter ng mga empleyado sa kanilang sariling bahay. Okay? So that's my best suggestion. While we're waiting for the booster decision, let's concentrate on vaccinating everybody around us. Kasi ang hirap pong isipin na Pilipinas babakunahan. Laki naman ng Pilipinas, kilala ko ba yan? If everybody will concentrate on their kamag-anaks, their kasambahays, and their employees or co-employees, malaking bagay naman.
From Cheryl M. Mapile, kung yung babae nagkaroon po ng abnormal uterine bleeding last January, naraspa na po at nag-medications para manormalize yung menstruation. Pwede po ba siya magpabakuna ng kahit anong bakuna para sa COVID, Doc?
Yes, my answer is yes. But again, my second answer is consult your OB po muna. Thank you for that, John.
From Miss
Thank you for
Bess
that question
Dela-
kasi marami hong nagtatanong about diabetes, heart disease, cancer. So yes, there are OB issues po. Best thing to do would be to consult your OB. Okay?
Okay na po, Doktora. Let's move to the next
Okay, go.
question.
Next. Sorry, bigla na lang ako
Miss-
nagdagdag. Oo.
From Miss Bess de Lavinia, good AM, Doktora. Hindi po ba nakaka-affect ng kidneys ang COVID vaccine?
Wala naman pong masyadong balita, Ma'am Bess, about the kidney and the COVID vaccine. Are you a dialysis patient? I think I explained why dialysis patients are like, if you ask me on ranking of sinong dapat bakunahan, number 1 na po doon ng dialysis. I would say, if you ask me, doktora, sa lahat ng comorbidity, pumili ka ng isa na sobrang kailangan ng bakuna, I would choose dialysis. Because as I told you, no choice ka but to leave your house 3 times a week. Kahit na ano pang mangyari, kahit na magkaroon ng World War III, you need to leave your house 3 times a week. Okay? At kahit na anong hard lockdown pa yon, you need to leave your house 3 times a week. So, dialysis patients are really, sa akin lang ha, the number 1 listing of the comorbidity po na kailangan pong bakunahan. So, does it affect the kidneys? My answer is, there's not a lot of data about the kidneys. Pero, if you have a kidney disease, pabakuna na po kayo ng COVID. Okay?
From Ms. Tomolin Bernabenene, hello, Doc. Good morning. God bless you every day. Nice information, Doktora. Thank you so much.
Thanks, Ma'am, for appreciating. Ang hirap talaga, no? And most of the information is printed. Most of it is in English. So, mahirap po talagang, it's nice to be interactive para talagang matanong nyo po talaga. I'm sorry, I cannot answer talaga yung specific sa ano nyo kasi syempre hindi naman ho tayo nagkita. But kahit pa paano lang ho, at least you have an idea of how to proceed.
From Miss Cindy Abinas Cantillo, good rainy morning po. Need po ba put hot or cold compress sa braso after vaccinated? Lalo na po if there is manhid feeling. Thank you po.
Ang magandang tanong ito, Ma'am Cindy. The question is hot ba o cold? Okay. Ang mantra po talaga sa emergency and first 24 hours, parang cool. After 24 hours, warm. So wala pong, not too hot ha, baka may masunog. Hindi rin naman not too cold. Basta cool and warm. So first 24 hours, cool. 24 hours, warm. So siguro cool na lang yung sagot. Okay? Thank you.
From Miss Leonora Paje Reyes, gusto ko pa din mag-mask kahit may bakuna na ako. Maraming may sakit sa baga at polluted ang hangin sa Metro Manila. Pasensya na po sa background. Iwas din sa hawa sa sipon at ubo.
That's okay, Reina. All of us have families, and that difficulty talaga of work from home, yung naghahalo po yung personal and public. But siguro habaan na lang natin ang ating pasyensya. From Ma'am Leonora, yes, I totally agree with you. Ako din, I would prefer to wear a mask. For my safety, for the safety of others, at marami rin po namang mga sakit dyan eh. Yan po.
From Miss Gemma Baricio sa Turay, good morning, Doktora. Okay lang po ba magpa-vaccine kahit mataas ang kolesterol?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, next. From Miss
Yes, the
Liza.
answer is yes.
Hi, Doktora. Ano po kayang pwedeng gawin? 5 days na po ako walang pang-amoy. May panlasa naman ako, wala din pong lagnat. Need ko na po ba magpa-swab test? Salamat, Doktora.
Ang kailangan niyo po, ma'am, is to isolate yourself. Go to your bedroom and lock the door. Ngayon, you have to inform the barangay po, no? There is actually no need to swab test immediately. Just go to your bedroom and lock the door and inform the barangay at wala pong lalabas o papasok sa bahay mo. Lahat po ng kasama niyo sa bahay have to stay there. Ang advice ko sa iyo is to remove yourself also from your family by staying in your bedroom. Kailangan po kayong pumunta sa quarantine facility, that's okay too. If you would like to have a swab, when is it necessary to have a swab? Kung may, halimbawa, kung mild lang, dun lang kayo sa kwarto. Okay, just continue to eat and drink and monitor the way you feel. Kung bigla kong may nangyari and you starting feeling worse, then it's okay to have a swab. Same po sa bahay nyo, but nobody should go in or out.
From Ms. Rowena Reyes, good morning, Doktora. First dose vaccine Pfizer. Ang mister ko today. So far naman po, wala naman pong ibang nararamdaman sa katawan. Kaya God bless po.
Okay. Ma'am, ang advice ko po talaga, thank you and congratulations to Dad for having his first vaccine today. Ang advice ko talaga po sa mga tao is if you have your first vaccine, try to rest and take it easy naman. Kung masabihan po si boss or whatever na wag munang magbuhat, I don't know what kind of job po kayo, no? Kung pwede naman po, yung medyo relax lang, one day lang, pwede na naman ho. Okay?
From Ms. Zarina Claire Galanida, thank you so much for the reassurance and guidance. God bless you, your family, and your team.
Thanks, Ma'am Zarina. Thank you so much talaga. Yung tanong nyo talaga, ang dami tatanong. Ako man, I'm also wanting to know if I need a booster, but I think I'll just follow po muna the government kasi that's the best thing that I can. Wala na po eh. Alam nga, wala na po. And worrying about things na hindi pa po na-advise, sasakit lang po yung ulo natin. Let's just pray na lang po to the Lord. I agree po.
From Miss Verna Concepcion, Doc Ana, may varicose po ako. Pwede po ba akong magpa-vaccine?
Yes, ma'am, you do. It's okay. But again, kung gusto niyo naman po magpa-check up sa doktor muna, wala naman po masama. Pero there is nothing against varicose veins po and having a vaccine.
From Miss Caroline Kiambao Dungka, pwede po ba i-vaccine yung mataas ang platelets at 94 lang po ang hemoglobin?
Ma'am, may sakit ba tong, is this a diagnosed, is this a diagnosed disease of the blood? Like may diagnosis po ba ang taon to? And then, what is the diagnosis? Okay? Kasi wala pong diagnosis na mataas ang platelets. There's something going on. Ngayon, if this person has a hematologic diagnosis or may diagnosis po sa dugo, may problem sa dugo, best advice, see the hematologist at itanong po doon. Kasi I don't know po the history of the patient. Okay? So the best advice po, magpatingin po muna sa hematologist ninyo.
From Miss Imelda Yumang Suma.
Wait. I'm sorry, Rina. I'm sorry again. My apologies. Kung 9.4 po yung yung hemoglobin niya, wala naman pong advisory against anemic people getting vaccinated. Another thing you might want to investigate po is bakit 9.4 lang po ang kanyang dugo. Okay? But again, 9.4, pa-investigan niyo muna. You might want to know why. Opo. Okay, sorry. Okay, go. My apologies.
From Miss Imelda Yumang Sunga, yung pong may mga hypertension, okay lang po bang magpabakuna?
Yes, ma'am. Though, of course, kung 190 na po, siguro you should go to the ER muna or take the gamots, no? So, my advice po talaga sa mga hypertensive, take all your gamots before you go. Kasi baka pagdating nyo doon, 180 kayo, hindi kayo babakunahan, okay? But yes, hypertensive people are advised to be vaccinated and advised to take all their medicines to the morning po of vaccination. Okay?
From Miss Garcia May Isaac, saan po pwede magpa-vaccine, please?
Ma'am, my best at these kinds of questions is sa inyo pong barangay. Please check the Facebook po ng inyong LGU. Kung alam niyo po yung bahay ng barangay captain, pwede niyo rin po itanong doon. Okay? But palista na po kayo. You can get listed where you live and where you work.
From Miss Cheryl M. Mapile, patanong po ako, how about kung yung pasyente is na-depressed? Nagpa-check up na rin po at ongoing ang medications. Pwede po ba siya magpabakuna ng anti-COVID?
Ma'am Cheryl, thank you also for this question. Kasi not many people inquire about mental health and COVID vaccines. Yes po, actually. There is a 3 comorbidity po for depression and mental issues eh. Best advice ko, consult, kasi nagme-medication, di ba? So somebody gave her that medication. Pa-check nyo na lang po doon. But my answer for you would be yes. Yes, they can get a COVID vaccine. sa nagtanong where else to get a COVID vaccine. From the LGU, from the barangay, and number 3 po, some people are working in offices that provide vaccines, no? So you might like San Miguel Corporation, ganun po. Yung mga working for hospitals, ganun. Working for gobyerno, the PNP is providing vaccines for the personnel, the AFP is providing. So depende po rin, aside from where you live, where you work, where you live and where you work na LGU, meron din pong where you are working job related. Okay? So imbestigahin nyo rin po yun if you have a job or if your employer has some preparation po for vaccine. Okay? So sorry, binalakin ko po yun.
From Ms. Rowena Reyes, thank you so much po, Doktora. Marami po kaming natututunan dahil sa inyo. Stay safe po.
Thanks, Ma'am Rowena. I hope it's kumusta po? It's raining really hard. Thank you so much.
From Mr. Raymond Alan says, Doktora, ang uncle ko po tested positive even though fully vaccinated na siya before pa po siya magka-COVID. Hirap na siya huminga due to emphysema. Ano po ba ang oxygen level na dapat itakbo na sa hospital?
Two issues that were raised, po. Yes, sa Israel po nagat po ang Delta virus doon. And the Pfizer vaccine is still effective kasi marami silang Pfizer na binigay sa Israel, So, I'm sorry to hear that your uncle got sick. Nagkalat nga po ng Delta sa Israel and they actually told everyone to wear a mask again. So, what I could say is, yes, magkakaroon talaga ng infections ng mga hindi po vaccinated and a few infections po, nakita po natin breakthrough sa mga bakunado. It's especially dangerous po sa mga taong may comorbidity na like si uncle may emphysema. Talagang mahirap huminga yun kasi emphysema plus COVID. I'm still hopeful po that the antibodies that can still protect him. Okay? So what is the oxygen level that you need to bring someone to the hospital? Pag bumababa na po ng 90, better to go to the hospital na po. Even 93. Lalo na kung may edad.
Okay, from Mr. Jose D. Doktora, pwede po bang magpa-vaccine kahit na may allergies, alikabok, and may almoranas?
Yung almoranas po, no relationship po. So the answer is yes, it's okay sa almoranas. The allergies po, most of the people with allergies, yung mga mild allergies, wala naman po talagang against, okay? And I'd like to reassure si Sir na sa mga bakuna po talaga, kasi sa US kasi, ito lang sabihin ko sa US po, yung bakuna nila kanan at kaliwa na lang. Wala nang check-up, wala nang BP, wala nang interview, basta pasok lang bakuna. And most of the people actually did okay. Sa Philippines po, mas maingat pa nga po yung gobyerno ng Pilipinas. Like sa amin sa LGU, there's a doctor, there's mga preparation, may 15 minutes observation pa. So, most of the people with allergies po talaga, they will do okay. Ngayon, kung grabe po talaga yung allergies nyo or that you have had experiences na na-ER po kayo or naturukan po ng epinephrine or may grabe po or namantal yung buong katawan or your face is like that, the best advice talaga is to see your doctor also. At saka po, kung sakali po, you will go there and you know you have allergies, paalam nyo na po sa kanila para ma-observe po kayo ng mabuti. But I'd like to assure everyone, sa US po, kanan at kaliwa na lang kahit saan may nagbabakuna. Dito sa Pilipinas, mas maingat pa po tayo kesa sa Amerika. Isn't that amazing? And yay, Pilipinas!
From Mr. Siyang FK, what is the best vaccine for patient with diabetes mellitus? I think that's it, with DM. And heart disease taking metformin and clopidogrel. Vaccine available, AstraZeneca or Janssen. Thank you.
Naku, swerte naman ito. Nakakapili pa. San to? Okay I do not know if anyone who has this choice. I myself did not have a choice. I just had to get Sinovac. My best advice po, first of all, this is not a realistic question kasi wala namang napipili ka kung anong araw. So, my advice po, kung ano po yung araw na napuntahan kayo, magpabakuna na po kayo sa araw na yon. Kasi wala namang ano eh, if you choose, hintayin ko po yung araw kasi for example, San Juan LGU, nabalitaan ko, may J&J, may Pfizer, may Astra, babalita-balita po ako araw-araw kung ano yung meron. No, kung ano po yung araw na natawag kayo, please go. Ngayon, kung worried po kayo about the condition po ng inyong relative or baka kayo or whatever, sabihin na lang nating relative, the best thing to do po is to consult the doctor. I'm sure may somebody naman gave ho the clopidogrel, that's anti-platelet. Somebody po is taking care of the heart disease and the diabetes. My best advice po would be to consult that person. Pero, the doctor. Pero pag tinawag na po yung inyong kamag-anakan at nag-consult na po sa doktor, please go na po. Kasi while waiting for the best vaccine, baka huma-COVID yan. Marami na ho siyang magamot. So, yun ho yung talagang while waiting for the best, baka po may mangyari. And yun lang ho talaga. Especially if someone is older or with comorbidities, possibility po talaga na maging serious po yung kanyang COVID. So, best advice ko po, and thank you for this question kasi everybody keeps asking, followed by the booster question, ito yung number 2 most common question. Dapat ba nilang hintayin yung kanilang best vaccine? Okay? And my answer po is the best vaccine po is the one that is available on that day. Kasi talaga pong, this is a time po na kahit may pera pa po ang Pilipinas, wala pong mabibiling bakuna in the world market. Okay? Kasi, eto lang for those asking, bakit nahuhuli ang Pilipinas? I will like to read this a timeline for you. July 22, 2020, the US entered into a 1.9 billion contract with Pfizer on July 22, 2020. Okay? So, ang Pilipinas, umuutang pa lang po, bayad na po ang Amerika. So, if you were the company, saan mo pa dadali yung bakuna mo? Doon sa manguutang pa lang? O yung sa nagbayad na? And the vaccine wasn't even formulated in July, okay? Naging effective lang siya November 9. So what I'm trying to say is may advance payment na po ang Amerika. Habang yung Pilipinas, ngayon pa lang umuutang pa lang. So, my best advice everyone is if you're called, wala na pong best vaccine kasi, paut pa lang ang Pilipinas and there is no vaccine available in the world market. So, and the Delta variant is already in the Philippines. So, the best advice po talaga magpabakuna na as soon as possible. Pag kayo po ay natawag, go na po because something might happen while we are waiting for the best vaccine. Ngayon, kung meron pong agam-agam, hindi ko naman po masisisi yung mga tao. Siyempre, that is the relative. Siyempre po, ang daming iniinom na gamot. Siyempre po, nagkakanervous din po kayo, no? Kung magpapabakuna, the best thing to do is to consult your doctor muna at ipaalam po sa kanila na kayo po ay magpapabakuna. And then, be guided po by their advice. Okay? Sa inyo po lahat, I think that is the last question. Thank you so much for joining us on this Pfizer Q&A. Oh, wow, from Jocelyn. You might want to read that, Ma'am Reyna. Ako na lang po, since parang humina po yung net ni Ma'am Reyna. Jocelyn Garcia, Doktora, thank you sa information. God bless and stay safe. Jocelyn, God bless and stay safe po. Thank you so much. From Mr. Eusebio, salamat sa programa nyo ni Mayor Dr. J sa mga kabalen ng San Luis. Mr. Eusebio, thank you so much. And to everyone, happy maulan na araw po and maya paugtu po kay Kongan. Thank you.